Good afternoon, folks. How is everybody doing today? I just returned from a week in the UK. More of that later. Some videos, pictures, sounds from those times. It was beautiful spring in London when I left. And then get back here, it's quite a nice day. Wake up in the morning, there's like 5 inches of snow on the ground. It's mostly gone now. There's some hope for the future, but it was pretty grim. Always happens though. There's always one less big snowfall in April. I hope everyone's well. Let us know where you're watching from. I see some Burnley, some Vancouver. Got a special guest today from Toronto, Mr. Justin Carras. I'm going to play a couple songs first, just as everybody arrives. This is a song by another artist from Toronto by the name of The Weather Station. This is What Am I Going to Do With Everything I Know? And it's for you.
There's always more of it, and a tender touch cleared all of it. I said nothing, you said nothing, we did nothing at all. Like a maple key, graceful in mid-fall. What am I gonna do with everything I know? What am I gonna do with everything I know? You said it out in letters, the work in my fingers, but now I can't remember what I touched. You throw out all the water for the want of a cup, as though it didn't matter if it could be drunk. But what am I gonna do with everything I know? What are you gonna do with everything you know? I was staring at you, it felt like staring out the window. It all becomes true if we say so.
The Weather Station. Hello, Maurice. Hi, Neil. Lots of the UK watching today. Wonderful. If you're a fan of the show, or if you like what you're hearing, please feel free to share it, to spread it far and wide across the internet. I'm going to try something new now. Trying to use these streams for exactly that purpose. To try some new things out. How's everybody doing anyway? You feeling all right? Wherever you may be in your front room. This is a thing I worked on with a friend of mine. I say I worked on it with him. He was working on something entirely separate while I was working on this, but this one goes out to Sydney Smith if he's watching over in Halifax, and everyone who's been watching those morning creative streams we've been doing. It's called Going Back, and it's a little bit of a riff on a song by Jessica Pratt. So that's a little bit of background for those who may know her beautiful song. that I can't remember what it's called. Can't Go Back, maybe? Anyway, this is that. And then we'll have Justin.
Stuck inside the walls it's in. Stuck inside for hours at a time. Over by the door where you stop. Dandelion softly as you go. Maybe I'm just going back, baby. 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 Wise man in the center of the mile. Stuck inside for hours will you shine. The only time before we didn't know. The only time was different at the time. Until the cows survive. Maybe I'm just going back, baby. Maybe I'm just going back, baby. Maybe I'm just going back, baby. Maybe I'm just getting back, baby. Driving on the moors, where will you go? Stuck in on forever, my door. Balanced with a solemn sense of hope. And driven on to find something more. And gamble on the moors where you go. And stuck in on for hours in my door. I galvanize until it rightly door. It's galvanized. Maybe I'm just going back, baby. 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 Maybe I'm just going back, baby.
A new one for your ears, a little debut. The time has come for a very special guest. He's coming in all the way from Toronto. He is the one and only Mr. Justin Carras. Justin, how are you doing?
Hello, welcome to my home.
Thank you.
I'm good. That was really beautiful. I love that Jessica Pratt song.
So you got the reference.
I got the reference. Sometimes I pray for the rain.
It's a lovely
That's
song.
the one, right?
Yeah, and the chorus is, "You can't go back, baby."
Can't go back, baby. I love that song.
Yeah.
She's
It's
amazing.
gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that there's at least one appreciative audience member out there. It feels a little strange singing the word baby, but not one that I use in my
baby.
regular. Yeah, baby.
Baby.
It's lovely to be in your home. There's people here visiting from Berlin, from Burnley,
Cool.
from Cole Harbour, from Vancouver. Again, let us know where you're watching from, people. We want to know. And say hello to Justin. Give him a little wave. It's lovely to see you. You used to live in Montreal. You abandoned us for the streets paved with gold in Toronto, and we'll never forgive you. I used to live in Halifax even before that, so just bouncing around. Just searching out the biggest cities, the brightest lights.
That's right. The city's filled with the most garbage.
Yeah, the smelliest
That's
places.
my recent obsession with Toronto is I walk around and I look at all the bits of plastic that are on the sidewalk and I'm just like, oh, that's my favorite pastime.
It can be pretty nasty, especially this time of year in Canadian cities where all the stuff that was just covered up by the snow is revealed.
Yeah, that's true.
The magical time of year where like the parks are melting and all of the dog dirt is melting. All the stuff that's been covered and frozen over the winter is coming to visit our noses.
That's where I left my dog shit.
I'll just go and get it. Jacqueline says, "Look at that harp. It's true. You've been on the stream before, and your harp has grown since then."
That's true. Little known fact: harps are actually alive like trees, and they grow over time. You have to prune them and water them, and eventually they turn into a full-size pedal harp.
It's amazing. We're going to be hearing a little bit about the story behind that somewhat, and kind of what you've been doing with your harp. What have you been doing with a harp? Playing it, obviously. But maybe would you like to give us a little tune to?
Sure. Yeah, I'll take my headphones off and I'll play a song.
Beautiful.
train is coming and I'm not running away, away. Cicadas buzzing, the engine winning over the brakes. The rain is flooding the plains, welcoming a change. The train is coming and I'm not running away, away this time.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. What's that song called?
That song is called The Train. And it actually is an older song that I had written for a project I had with my good friend David Shepard called Space and Time. It was more like we were using a lot of synths and samplers. And when I started playing the harp, I was writing a lot of new songs, but I also was craving material, and I've gotten better at reading sheet music now, but I was definitely not very good then. Anyways, I was kind of sourcing some of my older songs as practice material, and this one like transformed into something new on the harp, and it kind of took on a new life. So this is one that will be on my record.
Yes, which we need to talk about.
Yeah.
Because when you were on the stream, I don't recall even now if it was last year or the year before, sometime in the distant past. But it was fairly new to you, I guess, that you were exploring the realm of the harp, and you had a smaller harp, which we've discussed.
Right.
But you have been. It seems like a very sort of like intentional path of like, this is the thing that I'm doing now. I'm going down the harp path. There's a fork in the road, and you took the harp path.
Well, yeah, it's something that I wanted to do for years, and then I found a used harp, and from the moment I started playing it, I just fell in love. And it was like, I've played a lot of instruments in my life. I played the guitar first, and then I fell in love with the piano. And I'm not sure if I said this the last time we spoke, but I had this realization that the harp was kind of like, I had so much love for the piano, and the harp kind of feels like I get to bypass the mechanism and be at the heart of the piano, and I am part of it, and it's more symbiotic. And the fact that I can make so many little tonal choices, that are directly linked to the way you just handle the strings, and that close relationship with the physical nature of the strings and how they vibrate, and there's, I don't know, something magical happened, and I was just like, I'm obsessed, and I it's like all I think about.
And that's beautiful. And I think for people who don't realize this, that is literally what a piano is. A piano has a harp inside of it, and there's just hammers that are hitting the strings to vibrate them. So like it's kind of like you got inside the piano. And I've thought about this a lot lately as well, because I feel like there's something like about the piano that can be a little bit cold, and it's almost like, you're never actually kind of like physically making contact with the thing that is making the noise. There is that thing in between. So
yeah. It's interesting to think about the evolution, right? Because the harpsichord came before the piano, and those strings are plucked. So it's almost like the predecessor to the piano is more similar to the harp. It's like, and it's in the name too, but because the strings are plucked the way you pluck them with your fingers, it's more in line with how the harp is played. But you couldn't choose the volume that you're playing at on a harpsichord. It's pretty much just all one volume. And then when the piano was developed, I mean, the word pianoforte means soft and loud, and that's
right,
because the piano allowed you to articulate those volume changes and to be a lot more expressive. But you can't really control the tone so much. And I wouldn't say that I don't know if with the harp it's like there's a few things that you can do to change the tone a little bit, but in general, I'm really fascinated with the problem of like how do you get a good tone, and there's so much technique. It's the first instrument that I've really like studied. You know, I'm like I've taken a few lessons with Sarah, mostly doing a lot of research and reading, and I actually feel like the instrument teaches me a lot just by playing and listening, and there's this like really intimate relationship.
Beautiful. And we should say Sarah is Sarah Paget, friend
Yes.
of the stream, who's been a guest a couple of times on here, who's been sort of like your harp guide.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, she's been instrumental, if you will,
Oh.
in my harp journey.
I will.
Yeah, we met through through my friend Mark, mostly. Mark Andrew Hamilton, who's also an incredible musician. And yeah, when it was time to document the songs that I'd been writing on the harp, I reached out to her, and she has a little studio in the Laurentians at her house, and we've been recording together. So she's been essentially producing the record, you know, and doing a lot in terms of also giving me insight and advice about some of the song structures. And I mean, yeah, I've just learned so much working with her, and I just feel tremendously lucky to get to do that.
Beautiful. Just to rewind a little bit, there is a question from Anna that's, how is harp music written down? Is it just regular sheet music, or is there special harp music? Which is, yes, I was wondering the same thing.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. It's written, you know, it's regular sheet music, but the one thing that needs to be notated, or that can be notated, is the pedal changes. So the harp I had before was a lever harp. The main issue with the harp is the length that you can reach. Right, like this is the largest harp that you can get. There's actually one harp that is slightly longer, one model, but generally this is the biggest harp you can get. It's 47 strings, but to allow you to play, you know, what are called the accidentals, so essentially the sharps and flats, you have to use the mechanism that is activated by the pedals, that it frets each string in two different positions, so each string can play three different notes. So there's, you know, sometimes more than one way to play a piece, although I think that the music community, or like, you know, pieces that have been around for a little while, like there's a standard way to sort of play them. But yeah, harp music looks the same, but you'll have little notations for when you need to switch pedals. And I've been trying to learn some classical music, and it's like you do have to move your feet a lot, so it's a full body experience.
It's the drum kit of the melody and harmony instruments.
Yeah,
full body,
equally badass.
Nancy Caress says hello. I'm guessing that's a relative of yours.
Oh, that's my Aunt Nancy. Hi.
Yeah, and everyone else, yeah, feel free to put your questions or comments in the chat, and, you know, we'll get to them if we can. Would you like to play us another piece, Justin?
Absolutely. Beyond these hills, oh, you could ride the rolling thunder in my weary mind. Give me roads only meant to wander, nothing to find. To the crest of my concern, you drove a flag or something. I couldn't really say, it's too far from me to tell. From in this dell on a summer day, I've seen the sign through Nature, nature, will you be mine? I'll give my body to the tides of time. And once I've met you, beyond the gloom, grow your flowers round my tomb. Beyond these hills, you could ride the ropes, the hopes that wrote the happy spells, crafted right before you said farewell. The way the war began, the idle hand put on its fancy glove. So pray for me, the way you line our city streets with morning doves. You really gave me all your love. Nature, nature, will you be mine? I'll give my body to the tides of time. And once I've met you, beyond the gloom, grow your flowers round my tomb.
Mr. Justin Caress.
Thank you. I was waiting for that applause.
You knew it was coming. I can't help myself. What was that piece called?
Nature, nature. Like, as opposed to human nature.
Oh, yeah. I like that. Brain tickler.
Yeah, that one's a bit of a love letter. Yeah, so like as I mentioned, I've been working on this record, and there's a bit of a theme to it, which is present in this song that I just played, and the one that I'll play next. And a lot of these songs were written during the like first big lockdown, which was a really scary time. And I had seen this photo of, there's a bunch of these sort of excavations that have happened where skeletons have been found embracing, after being buried by a landslide or a volcano ash or whatever. So the theme of the record is the flowers that grow on top of the unknown remains of these lovers.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not totally sure which I'll reference in the title, but it'll be a reference to one of these sort of things that have been discovered.
That's beautiful in a literally morbid way, but I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. But that brings me on to a practical question of, will you be releasing this as Justin Caress?
Yes, I decided to release it as me.
Because for some of the Haligonians watching, they will be aware of your project out east, Fall Horsey, back in the day, and you mentioned your project Space and Time as well. So you're embracing your personal identity for this one. It's Justin.
Yeah. This feels like the most like solo endeavor, even though there's a lot of collaboration that's happened. And we've recorded like all my parts are recorded now, and then we've also done drums with Steph Schneider has done drums. And Jonah Fortune has done bass, but we're going to do some other, there's a collaborative process a little bit in the arrangements, but it does feel like more self-guided in a way than other things. And Fall Horsey was always very much a collaboration with other musicians, and Space and Time was me and David. So this, it feels like my debutante's ball.
Beautiful. Yeah. And is there any, I guess, like it's not finished yet, so maybe that's far away, but do you have an idea of when it might be released?
I'm hoping it won't take too much longer. I mean, I'm not necessarily like in any rush, but I'm really hoping to get some funding for it. So that'll allow me to get it done a lot faster, because otherwise it's been self-funding. So I have to kind of save up and, although I love paying musicians. It does feel like the most like, anyways, whatever. Hopefully sometime at the later this year. I don't know. We'll see.
Cool.
I'm going to approach labels when it's done and see if anyone wants to put it out, and then maybe self-release it. I don't know. If anyone's a label watching this, and
labels.
It's just label that's yearning for a harp record to add to their roster.
I mean, why wouldn't you be? Are you crazy?
Yeah.
Put the album out, people. But on the subject of paying musicians, that's a good little segue. This stream is viewer, listener supported. So if you want to support this project, I go live every Wednesday, same time, with different guests every week. This is the second time Justin's been on, but most weeks there's a guest. And it's a very harp-heavy stream, I should say. There's going to be a harp in a couple of weeks' time with the Nova Scotia band New Hermitage. But yeah, if you want to support it, there is a donation link in the video description, and you can support by PayPal or Interac or credit card. And 50% of the donations go to the guest artists every week. So it allows me to have the wonderful feeling of paying the musician of Justin as well. And yeah, he loves paying musicians. You can love paying musicians too. But the support is very much appreciated and keeps this whole thing going. So there is that spiel. Yes.
Thank you for that. And thank you for also, I feel like everything you do supports so many different musicians and offers a platform for people to share what they're doing. And I really enjoy watching it. I can't watch it every week because sometimes I have meetings at work, but as much as I can. And every time I do, I'm just thoroughly enchanted. It's just remarkable how much incredible music people are making all the time. And I'm very moved knowing that, people are able to, I don't know, put that out into the world. It's such a precious thing.
I agree with that. And yes, I don't know. I don't have a follow-up to that, but thank you. I'll say thank you. And yes, to beautiful music that people are making. Speaking of which, would you like to give us a final piece for the day?
I would love to, yeah. So this one, I'm not totally sure what the title is going to be yet, because it'll probably be the name of the record, but it will be Flowers of Somewhere.
Okay. If anybody has any ideas of Flowers of Where,
I have
stick
a
them in
couple.
the chat.
There's because there's the Lovers of Valero. That's like one instance where remains were found clutching each other. There's the Lovers of Modena, and it sounds kind of like Moderna, so maybe.
Topical.
And also Lovers of Modena actually is two men, so I'm kind of gravitating towards that a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
See if you can top that, audience members.
Okay.
first came to me, you and I alive and on our little boat. So many things were held afloat, gliding fast and rising free. Petals falling off our blue float into every guarded room. I still recall the sweet perfume. Loving arms once found, as flowers wild abound. And as our roses barely bud, there is a landslide on the run of Columbine and Marigold. It brings to mind our growing old. Petals falling off our blue float into every guarded room. I still recall the sweet perfume. Loving arms once found, as flowers wild abound. And with its face effaced, this hill a mirror image will reveal a man to hold me closer still. Petals falling off our bloom float into every guarded room. I still recall the sweet perfume. Loving arms once found, as flowers wild abound.
Absolutely gorgeous. Oh,
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Amazing. I love it. Amanda says, Mackenzie thinks the harp is beautiful, but her main concern is, where is Ben? We love you. Love listening to you live.
Ben is at work. Also, hi Amanda. Hi Mackenzie. Thanks for watching.
It's magic. So gorgeous. Thank you. I can't wait to hear the album. And yeah, maybe I'll be honored to play some bass clarinet or something on there at some point.
I hope so.
Keep dropping the hints.
Let's definitely make it happen. I'm really excited about that.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
And hopefully see you in Montreal soon. I know there's vague possibilities of a show here at some point in the summer.
Yeah, we'll keep talking about it. I really want to make it happen. There's a lot of things, a lot of considerations I have to figure out. Like you said, I have to get all my mistakes out of the way. This was a good format for that.
Well, what I was trying to say was that I think you need to kind of make mistakes playing live in order to not make mistakes playing live. It's the painful truth of you can be perfect in rehearsal when you're at home in this controlled environment. You get on stage and everything completely falls apart, and then you'll be good. So I think you should just do it.
Yeah, I was thinking, you know that expression, like to have nerves of steel.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I have nerves of like silk or maybe pudding.
Nerves of pudding.
I need to do something to get those under control, because I've gotten a lot less confident about live performances. But yeah, this is really perfect, and I really appreciate you having me on.
It's my pleasure. Please give a warm round of applause, everybody, for Justin. I'm going to keep going and play a few more songs and show a couple of videos that I have, so do stick around if you're not a regular viewer.
Amazing.
And if you are a regular viewer too. But thanks so much, Justin. I will see you soon.
I'll be in the chat. I look forward to watching the rest of the stream.
Amazing. So people can continue to communicate with Justin here.
Yes.
But goodbye for now.
Bye.
That's Justin, everybody. Absolutely gorgeous stuff. If you like the stream, please do subscribe on whatever platform you're watching, whether it's YouTube or Facebook or Twitch, and make sure you hit the notification button so that you'll find out when I'm going live. We'll definitely have Justin back on at some point, because it's just magical stuff, and it's just getting better all the time. So yeah, serious love for that. Thank you so much, Justin. I'm going to play one song and then show a little video of a sound sculpture near my parents' house in Burnley. This is another new one. Like I say, I'm going to try and just play more new songs. If anybody has any requests, though, please do pop them in the chat, and I'll do what I can to play them. The song is called Undistracted, and it's about being resilient in different ways, whether it's through being completely oblivious to what's going on and completely deluded, or being painfully aware of what's happening. And it's for all of yous. Okay.
Waves won't pull me down, waves won't knock me over. It's the price that appeals. Dry lines snapping to come through in the summer. It's the best time to heal. You knew you could go we to deal?
That's for when you was watching. So yeah, to the sound sculpture. I was in the UK last week for my mum and dad's 70th birthday, little joint party. It was a flying visit. It was so nice to get over there. And the weather was beautiful, and we made a couple of trips just into the nearby countryside while we were there. And one place that I really wanted to get to is the Singing Ringing Tree, which is a sculpture that was built in 2006 up on the hills on the outskirts of Burnley, a little place called Crown Point. And basically it's this set of pipes that when the wind blows, it's a very, very windy place up there. The wind plays this instrument sculpture basically. So I wanted to get a little recording of that for all of you. It's pretty windy sounding, heads up. And we had the crazy experience of going there on what was actually a relatively calm day, which never happens up there. So the clouds move incredibly slowly, but if you look into the distance at the windmills, you can see a little bit of movement. But yeah, this is the Singing Ringing Tree, so just tune out a little bit. It's pretty eerie, I should say, as well. But where's the button that I need? It's this button. Okay. Got to turn the microphone back on. Crazy, right? What a crazy machine. I love it. I got to go back up there with some better wind baffling, I think, because it's really hard. If it's windy, then it's making a lot of noise, but then there's also a lot of wind. But just wanted to give you a little idea. Jacqueline says, "How tall is it?" Well, because I just looked it up on Wikipedia, I can tell you that it's 3 meters tall. Yeah, I guess there's nothing in there for context. I didn't want to film it while I was... I mean, there's like constantly people walking past, so I had to wait for like my moment to like actually get a shot of it with nothing else in there. I'm going to play a couple of piano songs. Again, there's still time for requests. Anna's requested Army Dreamers by Kate Bush, so I'm going to play that pretty soon. And yeah, and Justin is in the chat, so if you want to say hello to Justin, do that. But yeah, I'm going to play Army Dreamers in a little bit. I'm going to play a song for my grandma because it's her birthday tomorrow, and she requested this a long time ago. It's a Nat King Cole song. I played it a couple of times before, and it's called For All We Know. And it's got a lot of expensive chords in, as Nev would say. And you get a little extra camera there so you can see what I'm doing. This is, yeah, For All We Know by Nat King Cole. For all we know, we may never meet again. Before you go, make this moment sweet again. We won't say goodnight until the last minute. I'll hold out my hand and my heart will be in it. For all we know, this may only be a dream. We come and go like a ripple on a stream. So love me tonight. Tomorrow is made for some. Tomorrow may never come. For all we know, tomorrow may never come. For all we know. That's For All We Know from your grandma. 96 tomorrow. Well done. Well done, Jenny Sunderland. Put your birthday wishes in the chat, although she's probably gone to bed at this point. Messed up my timing. That's also for Brett Hornby, my saxophone teacher from when I was a kid, who's watching and whose autobiography I've been working my way through. Yeah, introduced me to a lot of amazing jazz musicians. So I think it's maybe time, actually, before I do the other piano song, which is a request for Karina in Mainz in Germany, I'm going to play a little bit of Badger camera action, because there's been some really big developments the last week in the garden. If you've been watching regularly, you'll know that there's this little set, and it seems to be a bit of a turf war going on between a badger family and a fox. And yeah, things are getting a little bit crazy this week. Keep your eyes at the top of the screen for the fox eyes. That's the first little detail. And if anybody can tell me what the plants are along the ground, you get bonus points. Yeah, so this is the badger camera this week. It's the fox. It's checking out that hole there. Maybe that's gonna make a nice home. And this is the morning. You've got the time at the bottom there. 6:45 in the morning. Maybe in this hole, perhaps. A little bit later. Nev Clay for the win with Wild Garlic. You are correct. So then we flash forward to the night time. Any second. And the badger's back. Same night, same day, in the evening. I don't know, maybe he's like sniffing around the fact that like there was a fox around. But just watch in the top left. This is very creepy, I would say. You see it? Those little eyes. Look at the eyes. Badger's probably thinking, someone's made a mess in my den here. But the fox comes in. Bites him on the bum. So what happens, you know? Who won that epic battle? There's no other cameras around the garden close enough by to pick up what's going on. Mum, you need to like surveil the whole place. But yeah, developments on the way. That was a cheeky fox. Thank you everyone for the donations that have been coming in. Again, if you want to support, you can support by Interact, PayPal, or credit card, and 50% of the donations every week go to the guest artist. A little note though, with the PayPal thing, it asks for a username. That's just something to identify you to me. It's not any, you don't need to like sign up to anything, but there just has to be no spaces. Karen, I agree. That was definitely the best yet. Even better than Coronation Street, Jacqueline. Correct. I'm gonna have to agree with that. I'm going to play another request now. This goes out to Karina in Mainz, who requested it. It's a song by a Polish artist by the name of Ralph Kaminski, and it's one of my favorite songs of the last few years. Absolutely gorgeous. And it's called Wszystkiego Najlepszego. And it also goes out to Neil and Ella in Reed. I hope you enjoy. And I hope I remember all the words.
Starości smutnie wiatr Już pomysł baka z pestroski dawnych lat, z życia dziewickiego najlepszego, najlepszego życia dziewickiego, najlepszego, najlepszego. Choć wiecie, jak bardzo, bardzo kochałem cię, to najlepszego, najlepszego życia dziewickiego, najlepszego życia dziewickiego, najlepszego życia dziewickiego, najlepszego, najlepszego.
Ralph Kaminsky, for those who don't know. I'm going to do one more here. It's been a treat. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I will be back next week. Same time, same places. Yeah, so if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch, please do like the thing if there's a liking option, and subscribe so you don't miss them. I'm going to be back every week, forever, if ever I'm around. No guest next week, but we have New Hermitage, an experimental 4-piece harp, cello, woodwind and guitar quartet from Halifax who are going to be joining us, and they're fantastic. So don't miss that. More harp. So this is a Kate Bush song to finish off with for my sister over in Burnley. Thanks again to Justin. Give Justin another round of applause or hand washes in there if you're feeling it. But this is Army Dreamers by Kate Bush. Tweak, tweak, tweak. Let's try that again.
Our little army boy is coming home from BFBO with a bunch of purple flowers to decorate our mommy's hero. Morning in the aerodrome, the weather warmer, he is colder. 4 men in uniform to carry home our little soldier. What could he be? Should have been a rock star, but he never had the money for a guitar. He could have been a politician, but he never had the proper education. He should have been a father, but he never even made it to his 20s. What a waste, army dreamers. Oh, what a waste of army dreamers. Oh, tears were a tin box. Oh, Jesus Christ, he wasn't the norm. Like a chicken with the fox, he never win his war with ego. Give the kid the pick of pips and give him all his stripes and ribbons. Now he's sitting in this hall, he might as well have buttons and bows. What could he be? Should have been a rock star, but he never had the money for a guitar. He should have been a politician, but he never had the proper education. He should have been a father, but he never even made it to his 20s. What a waste, army dreamers. Oh, what a waste of army dreamers. Oh, what a waste of all that army dreamers. Army dreamers. Army dreamers. Oh.
The wonderful Kate Bush. It is a tune. It is a tune, Ben. And keep the requests coming in. If there's ever anything that you want to hear that you think of between streams, just send me a message. Always up for learning new things. And if there's ever any guests that you want to have on, quite a few of the guests over the years have been recommendations from viewers. Happy to learn new music in all the different ways. Thanks again for tuning in. Support the stream if you can. It makes a big difference. And yeah, I'll see you next week.